Namaste friends, it's your boy Crypto Gurkha, back again in Vienna, and welcome to the fifth and final episode of Walk the Talk Season 3 in Tel Aviv around StarkNet session. For the fifth and final episode, I've got the much talented DJ and software developer Raphael. Just a note, the final episode was the loudest Walk the Talk so far because we were walking in the marketplace of Tel Aviv where I witnessed this infamous balagan. But besides that, we also had a conversation about on-chain music. So, what exactly is on-chain music? Stay tuned to find out, and here's the intro. Hi guys, as mentioned, I'm here with Raphael, the upcoming star DJ from the StarkNet ecosystem. He recently got viral, I'm sure you saw the video on Twitter. Nice to have you here to walk the talk. Hello sir.
Thanks, hi, thanks for having me.
How are you? How have you been? You
Good. Yeah, I'm good and I'm excited about this Starkware week.
Yes, it's quite exciting.
Yeah.
So I think without further ado, we'll start the episode of Walk the Talk. So sir, could you just tell us who are you, what are you doing, what are you building on?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Raphael Doukan. I'm a Web3 software engineer at Revolutionizing, a company where we are building a Web3 music asset for the music industry and for musicians. And I'm also part of, maybe I will talk here, I'm also part of Cosmic Roses, an artist collective based in Tel Aviv. We organized, by the way, the after party of the StarkNet session on Tuesday. It will be nice. And a few weeks ago, we launched Roses Lab, which is a lab where we are working on music tools, on-chain music tools, with a focus on StarkNet ecosystem. I think we'll talk about it.
So I think we'll go over here in the corner. Could you, just 1 second. Could you briefly explain us why exactly StarkNet? Why are you building on StarkNet and why is it the best thing for your use case?
Yeah, sure. So first, the community is awesome, and also because what I love with StarkNet is that we can do things on StarkNet that we can't do on EVM, and that's why I'm very excited about ZK Rollup in general and more specifically on StarkNet, So yeah, that's exactly why I wanted to do it, to work on StarkNet ecosystem, to do on-chain music, on-chain games, on-chain machine learning. All of these are impossible or difficult to do on EVM, and on StarkNet it's so easy. So yeah.
Why? Could you explain us exactly why it's different to other chains, StarkNet, in terms of on-chain music, for example?
Yeah, sure. So because computing on StarkNet is cheap, and you can do things off-chain and prove it, and then publish it on-chain,
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm very, very excited about it.
So you're basically specializing in on-chain music, right?
I don't know. I always my first project on blockchain in 2020 was to try to publish on-chain music. Why? I have no idea why. I always thought about how we can do on-chain music, but because I think that because I like this idea that the music can be immutable and can live in 50 years, maybe, So, and also that you can interact with the music and do things. Maybe it's a bit noisy.
Yeah, just 1 second.
Let's walk a bit.
Yeah, that's why it's walk the talk. We just basically walk and talk. So yeah, Could you give us an example how this might work with the music?
Yeah, sure. So you want to sit somewhere? Okay, let's talk. Okay, so first of all, why I wanted to put on-chain music is because I think, today the music, a song, is a finite object, each time that you are listening to a song, it's exactly the same version. Of course, you can have different versions, you can have the club edit, the remix, the radio edit, but at the end of the day, each time that you are listening to Daft Punk, it's exactly the same, okay? And what I strongly believe is that in the future, we will...
Oh la la, this is a dangerous walk the talk. So guys, this is the most dangerous walk the talk episode we've had so far.
Okay, so yeah, so today songs, they are like finite objects, and each time that you are listening to a song, it's exactly the same version, But I strongly believe that in the future, a song can be an object composed of constants and variables. A constant can be, for example, the tempo. It can be like the structure of the song, for example. And variables can be the tempo. It can be the key. It can be whatever you want. It depends of the creator, And what I like with this idea is that the music belongs to the creator, belongs to the creation. This is what I really like with this idea. And with use cases, you can have different use cases. For example, you can think about an artist that create a song for their fans, and their fans that own utility tokens, for example, they can just personalize their song, But another use case that is really, really exciting is for on-chain games. So on-chain games are games with the logic that runs on-chain, and we can think about the music that runs on-chain also. And so the background of the music, the music theme can be on-chain and be generated with some tokens that the player own. It can be like the character, the skins of the character. It can be also the action that you are doing in the game, So for example, if you are a bad guy, bad guy player, the music theme will be, the tension profile will be more strong than if you are like a quiet player. And how to do it is because we don't store the MP3 on chain. We deal with MIDI. What is MIDI is a kind of, it's a format, okay, where you don't you send to the computer a bunch of events for the computer to understand and reproduce recompose the sound. You can think about it like the music sheet of the 21st century, for example. Okay, you can have a bunch of events like the note on, the note off, the duration of the note, the pitch of the note, the velocity, many events to help the computer to recompose the song. It's a bit noisy.
This is, just for the record, guys, this is the most noisiest and dangerous walk the talk so far. But we always try to get the extremes and different kind of areas. So, yeah.
You can feel the Tel Aviv vibe. Yeah. We say in Hebrew we say balagan, and balagan. This is balagan.
This is balagan.
But it's nice. I like this balagan vibe. So yeah, and so what I did is exactly to represent music on chain is I took this MIDI and I And what is amazing with MIDI is that it can be represented as a JSON object. For non-technical people, a JSON is a tree data structure, okay? What I did, I created a JavaScript script to take a JSON and represent this JSON as a smart contract with two parts. The first part is I just represented many structs. The structs will be able to represent the interface of my JSON. And the second part is just one function, a retrieve object function, that the functionality of this function is just retrieve the object. So we rebuild the object from the struct, from the bottom up, and we return these objects. And what is interesting is that we can do that for any kind of JSON. So we can do the same thing for MIDI, but also for 3D objects, for machine learning models, etc. You know. And yeah, I think that's interesting. And also you can add like variables in your function, so you can do some MIDI manipulations. And this is what I did a few weeks ago. And I don't know if you know Casey Westcott from Fleet Foxes, and he's working a lot in this StarkNet ecosystem and on-chain music, and he's working on the music background of Realm, the on-chain, yeah, exactly, the on-chain game for the loot ecosystem. And he implemented what I did to just represent music on chain, and I'm very, very excited to see about what he did, because the music will change with actions that you are doing in the game, and that's really, really interesting for me.
So that was the experimental phase for you in regards of on-chain gaming, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Okay. How was the experience with that? Like, what was the things you learned in this case?
With this project?
Yeah, with this project.
First of all, I learned Cairo because it was my first real Cairo. I did some stuff, but just to test, and was on some tutorial, on the internet about Cairo. But I said, okay, the best way to learn Cairo is just to do a project. So yeah, I first learned Cairo.
There's this is my last and final question. There's sometimes misconception that like MP3 data is stored on the blockchain. Is it really stored on the blockchain?
No. The MP3 is not stored on the blockchain. Only the representation of a MIDI file, not a MIDI file, but a representation as a smart contract of a MIDI file is stored on the blockchain, and we regenerate it on chain, but we render it locally. Okay. The rendering is locally, but that's interesting because you can render it as you want. If you want to put like a composition, it's exactly like a music sheet. When you have a music sheet, you can play that on a piano, you can play that on a guitar, on a flute, exactly. So you can render it as you want.
How long does this rendering take?
It depends, but it's a standard in the music, okay. So you can use MIDI on any kind of software, but the rendering is off chain, of course. What we do on chain is just regenerate the on chain game, and because it's a function that generates it, we can add some variables. So you can change the tempo, the key, etc., based on some tokens, for example, or some actions that you are doing in the game, etc.
Well, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you for enlightening us. That should be it. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
All right.
Noisy, but fun.
And what was the word when it's loud? But with the B, when it's loud, you said when it's getting loud, this is something in Tel Aviv.
With what?
You said when it's getting loud, it's something.
Balagan.
Balagan. Thank you.
See ya.